My, what a day! I haven't had one like that in a while. Oh, what happened? Oh, just one of those days. We all have them, where nothing goes as planned and everything seems to take much longer than it should have. Oh, yeah, I know what that's like. Oh, what happened to you? Oh, the other day when it was raining so hard. Oh, yes, what a blessing that was, and the flowers were so pretty the next day. Well, the roof over there in that corner started to leak, which would have ruined that shelf of books, so Noah and I put a plastic tray from the craft section under the drip. Oh, well, that was quite responsible of you. And when the tray fell off, I got drenched. Well, that's... Granny, it was not funny. Well, okay, it wasn't funny at the time, but now it's pretty funny. Noah got the tray back up there where it kept the books dry. Well, that's good. And then I climbed up to make sure the shelf full of Sunday school lessons were staying dry, and I found a mouse nest. They had made a huge mess in that box. Uh-oh. So Noah carried the baby mice down to the new mouse annex, all wrapped up in polyfill and a cloth bag, while I cleaned up the mess, and I got all dirty and had to wash up. Oh, well, that all worked out well in the end then. Coming back, Noah tore his shirt, swinging on the window blind cords. Well, he's not supposed to do that. We've warned him and warned him. Oh, that's why he asked me to sew it up before you and Gramps found out. Well, that little scamp. The whole day went that way, and I didn't accomplish anything I'd planned. Yes, that sounds exactly like my day today. Granny, I know our little problems here don't compare to the ones the early Christians had. Humans now have it so easy compared to them, but since back then they were also God's people, why did God allow all those awful things to happen to them? Well, what things do you mean, dear? Well, like Paul, I just read in Acts 18 through 20 about his third missionary journey. He left Antioch alone this time and traveled to many of the places he'd been before. Oh, yes, it must have been so lovely to see all those people he'd won to the faith in Jesus and those with whom he had worked for so long. And in Ephesus he found some people who had only had John's baptism and led them, like John intended, to Jesus. He also preached in the synagogue, and many more believed. Oh, yes, but the Jews who didn't believe publicly spoke bad about Christians, so Paul took the believers to study in a lecture hall. He taught there for a long time. The silversmiths, oh yes, the silversmiths in Ephesus rioted, accusing the Christians of ruining their business because they made idols. They grabbed some of the companions Paul had picked up as he traveled. Paul wanted to speak to the crowd, but everyone begged him not to do that. After the officials stopped the riot, Paul encouraged the believers and left for Macedonia. See what I mean, Granny? Everywhere Paul preached, something or someone got angry and caused trouble. Sometimes they even tried to kill him. If they chose not to believe, they didn't have to. Why didn't God stop all that trouble? Wouldn't it have been better and more people become believers if it hadn't been being persecuted and sometimes even killed? Oh, I'm sure God could have stopped it, and who knows how much trouble he did stop. Yeah, in Troas, when Paul preached late, a boy went to sleep and fell out of a second-story window. God allowed Paul to bring him back to life. It wasn't Paul who was causing all that trouble, so why did God allow it to follow him everywhere he went? Well, James chapter 1 says we should consider it pure joy when we face persecution or trouble. What? Joy? When we're being persecuted? Well, why would anyone do that? Well, the teaching there is, consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Oh, I see. If we're never have any trouble, we'll never grow in our faith and will be spoiled and flaky and never accomplish anything for him or others. And all that persecution scattered the believers all over the known world so that they spread the gospel everywhere. Oh, well, that's another great reason. And there are others, but the thing is, Johanna, we're not to worry about why God does what he does or doesn't do. Sometimes it's hard, but we are to remember that no matter what happens, God is in charge and he knows what he's doing. Oh, like Grandpa always says, he's God and we're not. There you go. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, early in the morning our song shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God over all and bless eternally.